Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome in. Hi. It is Friday. It is Mekton Friday. I am your friendly neighborhood Prax. Welcome to the channel. This is my friend Pope, and he's going to introduce himself.
Hey everybody, Pope here, Pope World on Twitter, Pope World on Twitch. I lurk in all your streams. It is good to be back here in space. It is good to be back here playing Adam Watcher Wingfield. Both he and I use he/him pronouns, and it's good to be here and to be doing something entirely new. I've done maybe two one-on-ones in my life, and I've never done one on stream. So this is unique. This is special. So I'm excited. I'm nervous, and I'm interested to see where this all goes.
Why would you be nervous?
There are a handful of individuals that run stories that I am a part of that make me nervous. You are one of them.
Well, I'll take the compliment. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And of course, because it's, Watcher Solo Day, I had to choose the very appropriate hashtag totally not sponsored, hashtag don't at me. Um but we are picking up with the story of the Starblade Battalion. OVA. We're starting season 2 will be titled Starblade Battalion Seeds. But these little solo episodes are to carry through this roughly, highlight some of the important things that happened in the 6 months between the end of season 1 and the start of season 2. And Watcher had a lot happen at the end of season 1.
It A lot of feelings happened. Many strange feelings when put together. It's a weird stew. Between like two exes coming into his life.
Who
Uh,
were getting married.
we're getting married. Um, One, he is conflicted about whether or not she was trying to kill him. Still not entirely sure. Not sure that she knows either if she was trying to kill him or not. There's a lot of confusion. Um, Still has feelings for her, but that's more a distant thing. At least now. Now it's
Is it
distant.
is it is it a distant thing, or is it a I'm ignoring it thing?
A little column A, a little column B. I mean, and then the entire thing with Xavier, it still throws very much throws him for a loop. Um, like,
Oh.
yeah, also just getting like first the context of what happened there at the wedding, where it's just all of a sudden this person I have not spoken to and kind of ended in a bad way just opens up comms and asks of something, and Adam's right there to answer the call, to try and help things. And then I'm fairly certain shortly thereafter, especially talking with Vantage sometime in the interim, um, let alone Rex, just getting the concept of, okay, so when it came to this relationship that we had, how much was you and how much was just for show? And that's that's a nagging thing. That's a more immediate thing. Alongside of, in the midst of all of this, his good friend Duncan seems to be missing. And that being in the midst of all this war and espionage, I need to try and fix this. And not necessarily having the tools at hand to do that.
So there are a lot of questions and perhaps concerns that
Many concerns.
Watcher is experiencing.
But also at the same time, like there's one thing with Adam that was established just as the dice were being rolled for stats, is that he feels things deeply but quickly,
Mm-hmm.
and just sort of quickly moves through life and relationships. They just kind of happen and then they go away. So it's there is definitely a passion there between Adam and Xavier. I just don't know how long it's going to last.
So this brings up a bunch of questions. You know, questions that I as the GM, I'm not currently laughing at that. I'm just laughing at something that Simon wrote in chat.
Yeah. Hi, Simon. Don't make me try and do an accent or a parody. No, don't you dare.
Yep. So there was a lot going on. And there was a lot of complicated things happening. But we're going to pick up at a moment. And I'm going to steal a quote from my good friend Greg. It's, sometimes to go forward, you have to go back. And this particular point that we're going back just a few hours to, it's been about 3.5 months since, well, the altercation with Cassandra and whoever she was working with. Perhaps members of the circle, perhaps. The wedding that wasn't, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
You know, it's, a wedding didn't happen, a merger didn't happen. Both the bride and groom are missing. Nobody's heard from them. Although, like, there have been some PR announcements from the Moraines about, you know, Xavier being heartbroken that his bride ran away, and so he has gone on, you know, he's buried himself in work and started, you know, he's basically at various Moraine, you know, various Soligen subsidy corporations and working hard to overcome his extreme heartbreak.
I didn't know my name had changed to work, but that's good to know.
I mean, his parents had to say something, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we all know that's not where Xavier is. And in fact, you are very familiar where Xavier is. He's been here on the Starblade, helping out as he could, and as we rewind the clock a couple hours to a loud, echoing, and awkward to view and or listen to, and it's really awkward because it's one of those arguments that you can't avoid, because when two individuals are having a loud argument against the rounded bulkhead of the flight decks close to the ceiling, it's going to hit that metal hull and reverb all over the flight deck, so it's not like it's going away. No one, and while Vantage is, well, Lightning's trying to have, well, she thinks she's having and wants to have an adult conversation with her brother. it's a little awkward to listen to. And I believe when we left off, we saw, well, last we saw of Adam, Watcher. Oh, this is a very important point for me. I have a GM question to clarify. When did you change the call sign back?
Um, Back to Watcher.
Yeah, because
Um,
last at the end of last season, we left with the call sign shift to death.
that got shifted back probably once they were out of system.
Okay.
Once they were out of system, it changed back. But whilst there was a very specific threat, no, the call sign stayed. But once out of system, no, that changed.
So maybe a week.
I died for a week. That's the ongoing joke.
You died for a week, yeah. That's and then you got better.
Mhm.
Um it's almost like you might say that Adam's immortal. Um but he claims to just be a guy. Uh but I believe we left off with Vantage leaving, storming off, uh Gibson following her to give her orders to maybe provide that level of gruff older uncle master chief support that is usually given to fresh faced little swabs who are not no longer shiny. Um and I believe we left off with Watcher climbing up to where Van Xavier was during this conversation with his sister. I think that's where we'll start today.
So how about we go someplace a bit less loud and more private? You think you can move?
Um you are not quiet. Or let me rephrase this. Are you attempting to be quiet as you went up this to this
Oh, the
gaffer
the
walk?
the quiet only occurs once speaking.
Mm-hmm.
The actual like climb, no, those are boots hitting rungs. There is no silence.
Yeah, I just was, making sure that you weren't attempting that. Um, so you saw him as you had come up with his head still in this panel, attempting to look like he's working on it. But the minute he hears your voice and that shift in tread to identify that it's you, you see his shoulders just drop. And he takes a minute before he pulls himself out of the bulkhead he was in this mechanics panel that he is working on and just turns and looks at you and nods but doesn't say anything.
I think we can take five. And just like lets the hand out if he wants to take it. If he, just that pause. If there's a hand there, great. If there isn't, that's fine too. And just get out of here.
I think it takes him like that half second to take your hand, just not quite long enough for you to realize he's not, but that half second pause that it's not instantaneous, that he had to think. Like he will follow where you wish to go.
um, Given like layout of ships and the
Yeah.
flight deck being like right here, um, there's probably already people in the ready room. There's definitely people in the locker room, but the one place nearby where there might not be people at this moment is the armory.
Yeah, you're not expected anybody going out except Vantage.
So
And
that's
lightning's going for speed, so
yeah. So there's probably like no one there. So it's just get in the armory, close the door, like hit the data pad to just go, yeah, we're going to security lock this one. No interruptions.
Also, is one of the few rooms right off of the flight deck that has a lock.
Yeah. So, using everything to one's advantage and just giving those couple of beats after the lock and just giving him as soft and understanding as a look as he can manage.
Uh, when you do that, he will sigh, and the the facade falls just a touch further, right?
If you want to talk about it, we can. If you want advice, I can do that. If you just want me to listen, sure. And if you need a distraction, you know I'm ready for that.
Distraction I would not turn down, but somehow I don't think we need to further exacerbate the amount of scuttlebutt that's going around on this barge about the
Oh
fact
no,
that I got into a knockdown drag out fight with my sister and then walked into the armory with you. Choices were made. They're not going to change anything. And she's not going to enjoy it. So,
you can. Again, I'm not here to make anyone else's choices. I barely make my own wrong. But both of them have been through a lot. Having things come to light.
I would have
Like, I
much
don't even.
preferred those things never come.
We don't get to choose where the spotlight goes. We just get to choose how we tell the story. At least our part of it.
Yep.
Probably gonna need to give. You need to at least give her some time, maybe some space. But there's going to be an uncomfortable conversation that needs to occur. I just would suggest next time it not being the flight deck.
I didn't choose that.
I
I did offer to go elsewhere. I attempted to be a responsible adult. See me be responsible adulting. Yeah, I didn't believe me either. Um, you haven't asked.
I don't think it's my place to.
Not about her.
Ah, we are both men with secrets, and I do my best to respect your privacy as much as there are questions hanging. Just as much as I respect that you respect mine. Again, there's those two questions you haven't asked about yet.
Well, what question do you think I'm avoiding?
Wow, there's a list. I think there's even a Word document. But first one that probably we should ask while we have this little tete-a-tete surrounded by weaponry. So, how much of the the past was you and how much of the past was your cover?
I tried to explain this to her. I didn't choose, unlike my brother, to become a spy as an adult. I don't have a cover. I am who I am. Well, aside from the occasional time when I major for the Earth Sphere and serve a very interesting general. The silver is like, I get it. You want a style choice to be recognized, but really, it's ostentatious.
Earth cares about their branding just as much as we do. It's just they go about it with less subtlety.
A lot less. And he will take that moment of like actually sit on one of those crates. He does take the moment, and you can evaluate his professionalism to double check that he is not sitting on like the explosives and it's just like, you know, the M16s. But he will sit down, and that further half step of relaxation, you know, release of tension. I There's a rule for undercover. When you're undercover, it's all you. And for you, well, for me, with you, it was one of the few joys. That particular. God, that was a clusterfuck.
So, who contacted who first
Out what?
between you and Cassandra?
Oh, the wedding?
Everything that led up to it.
The problem when your cover ID and your real ID. I am the oldest son of a major shareholder in Soligen. Apparently, FA contacted Soligen about finally joining the fold.
Okay, so it wasn't. Well, it wasn't the major shareholders. It was they made the first move.
The appropriate evaluations were done from a tax standpoint, or at least I was informed of such, and everything I could find on my end. You know me. I'm not a business person. Bake it well enough. You leave me along with wiring and something like this, I'm much more comfortable.
Yeah.
Plotting a hostile takeover. Does it involve guns and bombs? I'm your man. Do you need forged tax returns? I can recognize them, but I'm not going to make them.
So you didn't really interact with her, or did you?
The board of directors needed an appropriate sacrifice.
That's a word.
I was the appropriate age, not close enough to count, but too far away to have any major impact on the voting shares. ensured that FA wouldn't become a direct uh, holder of a seat on the board.
That's assuming that FA played by all the rules. Which I'm surprised Sojourn thought that they would.
My read on the situation is that the number crunchers did the appropriate background checks and then background hacks and found I'm going to assume now the appropriate level of false hidden secrets to ensure that it wasn't an intended hostile takeover. Although, exploding all the members of the board of directors at a wedding would have been
A coup.
in so many ways. I'm almost sad I missed it.
So you really didn't interact with her.
No. I showed up the appropriate events, took the PR pictures, realized very quickly in about the second time we met exactly who she was, because the first time we never actually saw each other. I felt that I did a good job of not panicking when I realized that the woman I was about to marry was the woman that you still carry a Polaroid of in your back pocket.
Move to the cockpit. Don't keep it in the back pocket anymore.
Oh, she upgraded to the glove compartment.
Mm-hmm. Cassandra's dangerous. I know that's an understatement. Where's Duncan?
And he will sigh. I need you to roll persuasion.
Here we go. Thanks, Hawk. I'm going to use that one luck right now.
I'm going to tell you that there are actually two, because Simon gave you one as well.
Yeah, we're going to burn those right now. Because I have a feeling
18.
18.
That's not bad. That's actually really good.
Thanks, guys.
With an 18, he will sigh, look at you, sigh again, and glance around, and then realize you're in the weapons locker of the armory, which means that you are pretty much as close to electrically shielded as you can get, because you don't want random electronic impulses getting to your various cyber weapons that could, have them be hacked and or explode. And it's designed to be restrained, so if something did catch on fire, it wouldn't spread to the rest of the ship. And he would look you in the eye and go, so information confirmed as of 4 days ago. Cryo ship left orbit 2 days before the wedding. From her personal apartments and, well, her country house, shall we say. Flying dark, low radar, no full stealth.
Okay. So she's not done. Well, that's enough of me asking questions. Go ahead and ask yours.
Do you want me gone?
No.
But I make life difficult.
Life's already difficult, so
I guess the only other question to ask is, what do you want me to do?
live.
He will legitimately raise an eyebrow at that as he kind of leans back on against the bulkhead wall of this armory on this crate. Beyond define live.
You have had to be other people long enough. And the galaxy seems to be getting closer to closer to lighting itself on fire. I want you to live, Xavier. I want you to be happy.
And if I say that I'm happy here,
There's a definite half smile. That makes me happy.
he will smirk at that, and his entire attitude has changed in that heartbeat. Uh, Mostly, I mean, you don't even have to roll for it. You can read. He intentionally wants you to read this, right? You see that. You see that he wants that. He wants you to see his shift so that you will recognize it in the future, right? Um, as he will then kind of get up in a single, push himself away from the hull and get up in the single motion and come and put his arm around the back of your neck and lean in and go, no one's going to be looking for us for another 30 minutes or so.
And then just a hand, because I think less in film and more in comic books these days.
Mm-hmm.
Just a hand hits like the control console right by the door and make sure that any audio or video monitoring the armory is turned off.
Yep. And that fades away. We fade out of that room in that time. And we go forward in time. A couple days. There is a frigid detente existing between Xavier and Lightning. Mostly on her side. He's just uh practicing the I will not I will stay out of her way because that's what she wants, and she is in the I'm mad, but I'm not supposed to be mad. I'm supposed to be restrained, but I'm really am mad, and I kind of want to that level of that.
Yeah, in those days, it's playing the subtle game of just trying to probably a lot with Rex's help, just aim lightning wherever Xavier isn't?
Calyx and Socket will definitely help with that. But also, Socket is very much very giddy because lightning brought back a bunch of pieces of this, what has
Oh
now been
yeah.
confirmed as a mobile doll.
Ugh, okay. That
Pilotless mech, remote controlled.
I guess I need to go and see Socket.
Huh?
I get like at the scuttlebutt being more and more reaching tone, it's time to see Socket about this puppet project.
Oh, indeed. She is very obvious because, like, Calyx brought. Well, Calyx's mech is a lion panther thing. It's a Zoid. Um, Legally distinct. And Calyx has brought back like a leg. Lightning has brought back the black box of the one that Calyx destroyed, plus a bunch of pieces of the other, including some of their armaments and whatnot. But they're kind of strewn or like at one end of the flight deck where they're close enough to the shields, you know, the kinetic barrier and shields, that they can be shoved off through the bulkhead or through the blast doors in a moment's notice and have them off the ship. But they're also out of the way enough that nobody's mechs are tripping over them. They're, it's a flight deck. It's like every aircraft carrier flight deck. There's a very particular place where these birds go, and you do not get in the way of the mechanics and flight crew putting the birds where they belong. So yes, Socket is pulling this thing apart joyously, and the since Lightning has come back, the music shift has been full on. Art is just,
Okay.
she's running through Heart.
Okay. In that case, is Magic Man or Barracuda playing right now?
Right now, Magic Man.
Okay.
Barracuda was on loop for like 20 minutes, but it has since stopped. You're pretty sure, and actually most people have kind of gathered that the more Barracuda loops, the more frustrated Socket is with things going, and when it stops, she's figured something out, basically.
Okay. So I heard my cue to walk over. Uh,
Good to be
and
on cue.
yeah, show up.
What?
So what'd you find this time?
Oh, so okay. And she'll like, you see her pull. She's got these big welders, um, ear protection on that she pulls to the side, like one, and you can see her pull the headphone out at the same time because she's got the music underneath the ear protection. Great for the welding and the pull it apart. And she just looks you up. Oh, okay. So they're fully well, they're not fully automated. They're totally remote controlled. They can be operated. Do you know that they can operate from subspace as like full communication across FTL drive levels of communication? They must be pinging off comm buoys all over the place.
Any way to trace it back?
You'd kind of have to be tracing it live. Signal's dead now. It's not going nowhere, and I'm not bringing the signal. The captain looked at me funny when I recommended bringing the signal back online, but there was an asteroid field right over there we could use.
Captain's right. There's no idea of what we don't know the capabilities of what sort of code they can use to piggyback off of that signal.
Yeah, he said that the last time we messed around with random signals, Rustlin had a headache for 3 weeks, so we should maybe not do that.
Fair enough.
And I felt kind of bad about that because, putting a skill chip that we don't know anything about in Rustlin's head was maybe not the best idea we've ever had. Just maybe. But he volunteered, so it's not my fault. Also, these things go boom real easy. Like they're meant to go boom real easy.
I have a feeling they want to get close. Just looking over the parts. Any other particulars of capabilities, or can this just be rigged up into any mech?
Their stealth drives are chaotic as fuck, and I want to rebuild it, but I'm not sure that I have the materials. Ooh, do you think the boss would let me mine an asteroid or three?
One, maybe. Three, no.
Like, because we need a shit ton of tungsten platinum.
There are places we can go where we can just get that. Not great, but can.
Like a metric ton?
A few.
Really? And she will kind of like actually turn and look at you at this point and like stand up. She is you realize that she is like 5 foot nothing, and she will kind of like sidle up next to you and go, "So, watch my new best friend. When are we robbing the where who are we robbing, and where are we getting all these wonderful wonderful toys for me to play with?"
We're not robbing, we're taking me home.
We're taking you home.
Yes.
You are home.
Point of origin of sorts. Going to the Asgardian system, straight to Loki, if you're looking for a lot of tungsten and platinum. In the process of converting that dead planet, all the shelters and whatnot were converted to less pirate, more personal. And so there was a lot of scrap, which has been the primary export of Loki for years.
So I get to convince the boss that we get to go liberate a planet of the scrap metal. You give me all the best toys, you know that?
Don't necessarily think we need to do a raid. If who I think is still in charge, I might be able to negotiate something.
Oh, negotiations. Have fun with that.
I know it's not as glamorous and it doesn't bring back as much salvage, but it means we use far less of our own materials in the procuring of said materials.
I mean, that's fair. That is fair. Okay. So I'll go convince the boss. Well, I'll convince Gibson to convince the boss that you need to go to Loki and buy a bunch of shit.
Acquire. Money is not worth that much on Loki.
Do I want to know what is?
No. Like, takes a good long pause and then just, no.
Okay. Also, if you come across any of these and she'll like kind of take the wrench that's in her hand and like knock it against the shell of this servo, stay far the fuck away if you can, because you don't have the shielding to pull this shit off if it goes boom.
Yeah, I don't have shielding for a lot of things.
This level of
And
shrapnel would rip through you like butter. And I like you. Oh, but I
one,
fixed your communications array, so now you have the communications protections.
thank you. I have a feeling that an ex of mine is going to continue to try and complicate my life. Not the one on board. He's no longer an ex. You don't have to have that look.
I was about to have very big concerns because I like Xavier. He's kind of nice. I mean, I don't say that in front of Lightning because she's kind of pissed at him, but you know, it's all the sibling thing, so I don't get involved.
He's very nice, but like me, we don't necessarily make the best choices.
Who on this ship does? Have you seen Rex?
I not recently. Like he's just reminded.
Yeah,
Uh,
neither have I, and I don't want to know any further. If I don't see Rex, then that means that weird shit going on. But he's not actively bleeding or smelling like he got barbecued. So his mech is sitting over there, so it's not like he went somewhere.
and as for people who make good decisions, I know of at least two in this crew that make good decisions.
Name them.
Gibson and Yukihara.
Yukihara slept with Aurelia.
Yes, but given the fact that Aurelia is the equivalent of the Marilyn Monroe of this age, I can't blame him.
He was intoxicated when he did so.
Are we certain that he is not one of those savants that actually works better when intoxicated?
I do not comment. I'm merely stating his state of being when he finally got to say yes to Aurelia. Also, Gibson. Love the man. But he's here hurting all of us. I kind of think that sums up his entire good decisions. Also, he recruited his family to work for this shit show. So there you go.
Yeah, but he was smart enough to make sure that you have plenty of parts.
There is that. We will like.
Yeah.
Also, by the way, if you find any really good
So,
guitar strings on Loki, pick some up because I've got a present that I'm building.
oh, that shouldn't actually be that hard.
Cool.
Uh, just if you find anything with very specific corporate blueprints while you're walking around this tin can, just send me a message.
What particular blueprints do you want? Do you want the shields, the electronics, or the really, really big fucking gun?
No, it's less the blueprints and more.
What blueprints?
Well, it's more that
Look, I can pull anything out of this hard drive. Well, if it's there. I need to know what I'm looking for.
very particular coding style. Something. Let's just put it this way: if there are things within the code that remind you of, say, chess moves or a Hieronymus Bosch painting, let me know.
And she has this very quizzical look on her face when you talk about the Bosch painting, and she's just like, okay, whatever. It's not the weirdest thing I've been asked for. You would be surprised. And if she goes to put her headphones back on, you see her click her fingers a little off to in the air, and you can tell that she's activating her internal neural system, which is linked to both her playlist and the speakers in the ship, because of course her playlist is the sound for the ship. And Bon Jovi's Who Says You Can't Go Home starts playing.
Shakes his head as he walks out. Um, but as he's walking casual,
Mm-hmm.
getting off the flight deck, soon as there's like nobody around, that very casual walk turns into a sprint as he makes his way back to his room and does the sort of immediately on flick lights on, like throws off like coat because flight deck gets cold, and then just hops in front of his console and quickly goes, "Is there any mail?"
Oh, really? You're
Yeah,
looking?
I'm looking.
There are two things that are new in the past couple days. One is a message from Xavier.
Okay, pull that up.
Uh, it is a star map with 6 pings of trajectories, leaving what you know to be Cassandra's country house.
Yes.
Uh, he managed to track the cryo ship for 6 refuels and then hasn't found it yet. But he lost it somewhere in corp space. Not. Please hold, I need to pull up the correct piece of information because that just closed on me. Uh-huh. Uh, not. It went through the Primus system, and he tracked it through Primus, Porteus, Alicon, and then loses it somewhere in Charybdis.
Makes sense.
It's also not signed, it's just the data.
Yeah. Now looks at all of it. Keeps that sort of like tab open,
Mm-hmm.
but puts that off to the side. Um, just again, that sort of numbers with multiple alive. That's my only solace.
I honestly did not hear you, I'm sorry.
Under his breath, apparently very under his breath, is "You're worth more to her alive, Duncan. That's my only solace."
Mm-hmm.
Then let's see what the next message is.
The next message is an invitation for a game of chess.
Yeah, I am. As soon as I see that, it's just immediately okay. So we're gonna probably grab hold of every single like defensive tech protocol that Aurelia
You mean
has.
the electronic warfare suite?
Yeah, it's pretty much like, okay, how can I make it so that this most definitely, well, its primary goal is not to hack the ship. That is one of its many secondary goals.
Mm-hmm.
I am certain of this. And we're not going to open that on the main console. We're going to grab a tablet. Uh, that I don't mind it bricking before we open this.
Indeed. Indeed. So the you grab a tablet. I need you to roll electronic warfare.
Okay.
Just to see how well you do. You get a +5 because, as Socket said, she has upgraded all of the electronic warfare suite on all of the mechs and on the Starblade itself. Since you're opening this on through your, because when you originally went to open it, it was on your console on the Starblade.
I'm going to spend 2 of my luck here because
So for a +7.
I I I I'm a little paranoid
Why would you be paranoid?
because I'm usually right to be. 21 blackjack.
Oh, well, I just feel it's appropriate that we then ask, is it blackjack or is it dead man's hand? Because you are correct. Something was attempting to get into the system and it was blocked. And unfortunately for you, you can now hear Rick Astley blasting through the speakers of your console. And there's a little video. The music video starts playing.
Of course it does.
And then there's like halfway through the video, and then there's like an animation that's very obviously Socket has done of Rick Astley pulling the microphone stand and turning it into like a machine gun and spraying everybody, like just spray and pray, and then just cackling ha 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 ha, and then it goes away. Terminal secure.
No, I'm not even going to say anything out loud. I'm just going to try and get through this message.
But you've transferred this message to your tablet, to one of the many dummy tablets that Aurelia has ensured that each of you has, so that you can be not a problem to her.
Yes.
Which, she still sends messages, even if she's been on Earth for the past 3 months.
Okay, she's got the kid on the way.
Mm-hmm. So what are you going to do with this email invitation to an electronic chess game?
Again, I'm just a fellow that can't say no. And so we'll follow our breadcrumbs.
You click and open. Unfortunately, you're black. And the first move has been made. White. Queen side knight. Shit, I totally blanked on the call.
I have a feeling I know where he is.
The knight is moved. White queenside knight is moved to directly in front of the queen. Give me the layout. Okay. Yes. To E2. Or excuse me, E3.
So
Queen side knight to E3.
E3.
Mm-hmm. They do L's. Or no, excuse me. It wouldn't do that. Excuse me. F3. It doesn't go that far. It only goes to F3, not at E3. Why am I looking at things? Goes in front of the bishop, not
Yeah.
I messed up my
Okay.
reading. Yeah. First move. And then there's a clock that starts ticking. But Watcher plays
Queenside.
chess, correct?
Yes, but he's only so good.
That's not the question. The question is he plays chess. He is aware
Yes.
of the limitations on time chess, correct?
Yeah. Yes, he is.
Um, the timer is much longer than you would see in time chess. There are day counters on this.
Notes the timing, countdown, um, and then with that information, sliding back over to the console
Mm-hmm.
is going to send a message off to both Ruslan and Jaeger.
Ooh, yay! So both the head of security and the flight commander.
Yeah, because I don't necessarily want to bother the captain with this just yet. Likelihood of enemy engagement within this time frame.
It's 38 days is the timer.
Likely, in that case, likelihood of significant enemy engagement in this time frame.
You get two immediate responses. One just like like a acknowledgement from Ruslan.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Jaeger acknowledges and requests any further information be sent to him as you determine it, and he will keep the captain informed. Don't worry, he's not throwing you under the bus.
Um, there's just a small follow up on this like email thread.
Mm-hmm.
Likelihood of corporate agents with significant technological advantage high.
And then there's just a brief, well, fuck from Jaeger. Because Jaeger has a complicated history with corpse.
And then Watcher makes his move.
And where does Watcher move?
Um, Queenside Rook Pawn
Mm-hmm.
to A6.
Hmm. That's Kingside.
Right. Kingside. Sorry. Flip things around. But yeah.
You're Kingside.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um the king is always on its own color.
So yeah. Kingside Rook Pawn to
A6.
A6.
Hmm. There's a long delay, which is not uncommon because, subspace communication, but it's shorter than you would expect from like email transfer. This is almost, well, for deep space communication, it's as close to instant as you're going to get. short of, somebody from Mass Effect bringing you a quantum entanglement system. And then there will just be so many questions.
Yeah.
But it's a delay, but it's 5 minutes, not a couple hours.
That's quick.
Yeah. Queenside, rook pawn to h3. Or excuse me, h4. There we go. I can't count.
And with that given the timer, he's just going to close that out and go.
Mm-hmm.
He played out a very defensive move, and they immediately responded with offense. Means they have a plan. They're not trying to probe. So, yeah. Oh, that's great. Yeah. Oh,
roll human perception.
Sure. Human perception. We're just gonna roll this straight up.
16.
Yeah.
Based on, well, 2 moves and things that that you get so far, you don't expect them to do much probing. They already did that.
Yeah. Okay. So they have a plan. Always. And with that, we get a secondary thing where he just like slides back over to that email thread.
Mm-hmm.
Need a deep scan of everything nearby the ship.
There is a moment of delay between a short delay until you get a response, and this time it's not from Rustlin or Jaeger, it's from Socket. Like, you might want to hold you. It's like a mass email that's sent to the entire ship. Hey everyone, you might want to hold your ears for like the next 42 seconds. Bye! You hear a klaxon go off. And you are familiar with the next sound that you hear. It's a very almost high-pitched whine. Not totally overwhelmingly painful. And if you've experienced it once, you've experienced it before, it never gets any better. It's that high-pitched whine of, like, a sub-electronic scrubber looking for any outgoing signals or anything on this ship. It's kind of got the same level of high-pitched whine as a not decontamination system.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, great. That reverberates in your scalp.
Yeah. And you for the next 42 seconds.
Yeah.
It's like, then there's another, exactly 42 seconds, the sound stops, there's another email from Socket that says, thanks, everybody have a great day, and to make sure that you feel better, I have selected the following musical accompaniment. We are going to enjoy the sounds of the Eurythmics and Annie Lennox. Enjoy!
This is not Sweet Dreams.
The sisters are doing it for themselves.
Fair enough. But,
It also has Aretha Franklin on that album. It then transitions to a number of song selections from Aretha Franklin and Annie Lennox. It's a very schizophrenic, not schizophrenic, but there's a very sharp dichotomic. Di-
Yeah.
there's a split there, you know, between Annie
So
Lennox, folk rock, and Aretha belting for the.
I'm just picturing that during this cycle of these two, we get Aretha's performance at the Grammys of Nessun Dorma
Mm-hmm.
and the Annie Lennox cover of Lighter Shade of Pale.
Yes, two very great pieces of music. If you have not looked them up, please do.
So, yeah, no, with that, it's just like looking very, very grim
Uh,
from Watcher as he's bathed in like screen light.
the response you will get after this is from Rustlin. No signals in or out, nothing on the scanner, nothing close, visible. You can't even find an ion trail.
And with that, he's going to do something a little odd. And I know Aurelia's not here, but
Mm-hmm.
he's going to send a message to her.
Okay.
Go and it's has all the sort of like, how are you doing? How's the baby? How, like all the polite things. Hey, just wanted to ask, could I get a copy of a manifest of all electronic transmissions since we picked up Xavier, as well as manifest of all supplies, goods, and who's been on and off the ship.
Hmm. Feeling a little concerned about your spy of a boyfriend?
I don't think he's the problem, but I'm very certain he's a target.
It will take a little while because she is on Earth.
Oh, I I know. I wasn't expecting this like
Oh no, no,
anytime soon.
no, no. But it will. That message will go out. It will take a little while because she is on Earth. To get back to you. Well, last you heard, she's on Earth. She could be anywhere in the Sol system, and
Knowing her and her husband, they are probably just going around having a grand tour of the system. I wouldn't be surprised if they are like doing a flyby of Titan right now.
I mean, it is a great view with the
Yes, from their
rise of.
hot tub.
Yeah, they have a hot tub in the rear of that yacht with the perfect dome glass house greenhouse dome to look at Titan and through the rise of Jupiter. It's fine. Um, but as you send this off, you will get another message. Uh, a confirmation from Gibson and the captain that a small, they're within range to deploy a small shuttle with you and one other to Loki to pick up supplies. Who would you like to take with you to Loki?
I need somebody who gets it. So I can't definitely not bringing Xavier. Um
I mean, he gets it.
he might get it. That's the problem. Um I need somebody who can handle himself and actually has people skills. Give me Yukihara.
Yukihara doesn't have people skill.
More so than Rustlin. Rustlin only knows how to look either hot or angry. I need somebody with a more like a broader emotional field, and I don't have to feel bad about if we get into a knife fight.
Oh,
Um,
okay. That's a different that's a broader. I mean, you could take Jaeger.
okay, if he wants to go with me on the down through this rabbit hole of pain and suffering, sure.
I mean, you could take Yukihara, but he's not. You would feel bad because he doesn't know how to fight if things went seriously sideways. Like, he knows how to break bottles and stab from a distance.
No, I know who I'm going to bring because I'm feeling spiteful.
Oh.
I'm bringing Memoir.
There you go. That works.
There we go.
I was like, you want the cook? I can give you the cook, but he's a mess officer. He doesn't
Yeah.
do people.
Well, there are three forms of mess officers, and one of them peoples.
No, those are warrant officers who occasionally get stationed to mess. That's not the same thing.
No, there are some. They usually work in navy boats.
Yeah, that's okay.
Um,
No, they usually end up working on submarines or on aircraft carriers because,
but yeah, there's at least like a few mess officers that know how to people.
yeah, and then there are like all the ones who never had to people because there were stewards to people for them.
Fair enough. Um,
I mean, like,
but
but yes.
yeah, no, we'll bring Noir. And as they're getting on the shuttle, I can just see him going. So, what do you know about the little blue-gray ball that we're heading to?
I have not had the pleasure of this particular little blue gray bowl, but I did grow up on Prime.
So, welcome to Loki.
How likely am I going to get to be shot getting out of the shuttle?
No. You won't get shot getting out of the shuttle. You'll most
Get
likely get shot on your way back to the shuttle.
there we go. Getting shot in the back is at least, easier to deal with than getting shot in the face.
No. It, this used to be a pirate colony. Used to be.
I hate when
But
they pretend to be privateers. It gets like just
no.
admit who you are.
Corporate interest drove out the pirates, and then they decided to make a settlement here.
Corporate interest appropriated the pirates and turned them into the security force. I did grow up on Helicon.
No. Most of the pirates were actually liquidated
Oh,
due to grudges.
that's aggressive. Usually they at least repurpose them.
No.
The loss of, the financial loss there.
It was more what they already had on the planet. That's
Oh.
part of why we're going to here. And that is a lot of valuable salvage.
What are we looking for?
Anything that'll make Socket happy, but primarily tungsten and platinum. Also guitar strings.
Ah, anything that would make Socket happy. Well, I would also make Kay happy. I'm glad I'm on this trip.
Um, Personalities of the locals vary widely. Most are quite warm, despite the constant hellish freezing. Um, but they're very quick to turn. Very quick.
allowance of visible weaponry?
Oh, plenty.
Oh,
Everyone's armed.
oh,
Uh,
I'm okay with this. And she just starts pulling an extra two handguns and an assault rifle. It's like,
well,
I'm good.
everyone's armed. I mean, I got my first dagger as a gift when I was 5.
Well, there are some places where bladed weapons are more important than, or more acceptable, I should say, than perhaps a good shotgun. I prefer the
What?
shotgun.
Oh, right, I forgot. You're not from around here. You're definitely going to want to bring a respirator and 2 backup cans.
I hate these planets. I hate dirt side. You owe me. I'm going dirt side. And she will just start bringing, or like, you see her grab a respirator, and it's fit perfectly to her. You know that this is hers. She's bought it. She's had it fitted. This is not just a off the shelf, off the rack from the ship. Um, as you are preparing to disembark in this shuttle, you will hear walking down the corridor, metal corridor of the Starblade towards you. Um, Mawar looks up, glances over, shakes her head, and goes back to kidding herself out. Um, and you would see Xavier walking towards you.
Oh, hello. It's sort of like sounding guilty because I certainly did not say anything about this.
There's that slight pause of where he just kind of lets you sit in that quasi guilt for a moment, and then kind of smirks, and you get the impression it's like he's not going to judge that you got called, that you're going on an op without him. He's like, he you can go roll ahead and roll human perception on him.
Oh dear. Yeah, we'll do that. But I like the idea that both times I've rolled this, it's been when wins when flustered, so there's no addition of any luck.
Mm-hmm.
14.
14. There you see, because, and it goes back to that moment in that armory where he intentionally wanted you to see his shift in personality. This, you see, you get that he wants you to see this moment of like, he's not judging you for not telling him about the op, because he still thinks he kind of is on that. He already thinks he's like, he doesn't want to mess up with you. That he thinks he's, like, I'm not really in a place where I get to judge because of things that I've done, so I'm not going to comment. But he just hands you a small agent, which, for those of you who've never played Cyberpunk or Starblade Battalion, is kind of like a cell phone, like a iPhone or Samsung, and it can connect to various cyberware, and it acts as a phone and everything else, but it also can be like a personal agent. Um, and he just will hand it to you and say, 100% clean, direct access, sockets doubled up and strengthened the electronic warfare, cybersecurity. I would have headphones or earbud. Um, you don't want to listen.
Hmm, thank you. As we see, Watcher is compared to Mawar, he's nowhere near as like armored and weaponed up. It's very, very simple. There's a combat knife that's in a heavy boot.
Mm-hmm.
boot sheath. Pistol located at the small of the back. And then he has retrieved the sword from the cockpit. It's sheathed and at his side.
What kind of sword?
Mortuary.
Mortuary sword. Very nice. Not a hand and a half bastard.
No. Needs something with hand protection.
Where is that? And then Xavier will smirk and just wink at you as you board the shuttle. And as the shuttle doors kind of closed, because this is not the sanitized Star Trek where the doors don't have an effect on airflow. There's a reason doors whoosh in sci-fi, people. It's a symbol of the sound of the airflow being shut off inside the... It's important. As the doors to the shuttle whoosh closed and your shuttle pilot, begins to take off, the agent vibrates.
Okay. Answer.
Also, side note, pestilence has been spotted.
Sees that, closes. Just looks at Noir. I'm very sorry. Like, entire shift in tone.
Are you gonna shoot me in this shuttle?
No. If I perform any violence to you, it's to make sure you don't suffer.
That's not a no.
Not gonna happen until at least we hit ground.
Okay. And she will lean back against the jump seats and just sigh.
As, like, demeanor's gone entirely from happy-go-lucky and, like, this is gonna be, this is a milk run, to entirely great. This is probably going to end up with at least one of us being spaced, and I don't know if any of us are going to make it back alive.
And that's where we're going to take the break for the afternoon, everybody. But take an opportunity, stretch, refresh yourselves, get some water, do whatever you need to do, because it's an important thing. And we'll come back as Watcher lands on Loki, and apparently there have been people who've been looking for him. Bye, everybody. See you soon. we're back. I can do all the transitions. It's great. But we are landing on a planet. Technically. Okay. I'm just gonna go ahead and read the description from our wonderful friends at Artelsorian Games. Hashtag not sponsored. From the Starblade Battalion book about Loki. Pleiades 7, named Loki, is an A-class white dwarf cold, dim, white sun. It is all that remains of a once fierce blue-white solar furnace, and its planets were probably once ensconced in its outer orbits. Then the sun went nova, throwing off its outer layers, consuming its worlds all the way out to its gas giants and building a minor nebula. All that is left of its core are a few outer planets that were captured by its remaining gravity and the coldly luminescent dust of its nebula. And then Loki 1 is where are you going to Galvangel or Iron Sun?
I believe cue balls.
You're going to Cue Ball?
No. It's the first one.
Galgan, yeah.
Yeah.
Galgenvol. Look, I can't say this. Galgenvogel. 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 A lunar-sized rock that more accurately could be called a moon to the system's dead primary. It follows a tight elliptical orbit that brings it within mere tens of millions of kilometers of the dwarf. It's never been prospected, since the primary radiation and gravitation make landing on Galvangel an impossibility, so you're going to Iron Sun.
Right.
I was like, wait, that's...
But
The atmosphere on Iron Sun is sluggish, sullen, and abusive, eventually eating its way into machinery, pressure seals, and metals, and still men slave here searching for the one meteor crater that will knock back the radiation signature that spells wealth. Its two major cities are Pitchblende and Foothold, and you're landing in Foothold on Iron Sun in the Loki system.
Yep.
It is a shithole. For those of you who have watched Trooper play Outer Worlds, same kind of vibe.
All right. So make it.
Mm-hmm.
Once we sit down, it's just getting out, and then immediately looking around.
That would be an awareness notice, please.
Yes.
21. Well, here's a lot of things that you should make life a little bit easier for you. Or harder. Crispian has always been a lot of things, but subtle is not one of them. And stealth is not his fort. He doesn't, I mean, he tries, bless his psychopathic, murderous, stabby heart.
Okay.
So he's kind of standing sort of in the shade of an alleyway between these two prefab buildings. They are not, I mean, look, He's got that square jaw, that shaved sides that give the faux mullet down the middle that's tightly braided into a rat tail at the base of his neck. Um, he does look like he's picked up a couple new scars, one over his left eye that if you glance with that 21 you can see he's replaced with a cybernetic. Um, he doesn't seem to be holding any visible weapons at you, but his crazy is showing, so there's that.
Okay, so he looks off the leash.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
There is no indication that anyone else is anywhere near him or with him.
So he's on his own initiative. This could be worse. Not much, but this could be worse. Um,
And he will kind of finally notice you looking because, and like make eye contact, and through that, like, you can tell that filtration face mask that kind of fits just over. Really high tech, really nice. Almost nanotechnology. More mesh than anything else. You can see his smirk, smile. All of his teeth are showing as he smiles at you.
yeah, I'm not talking out this one today. Wish I could, but I'm not talking out this one today.
Have you ever talked Crispian off of anything when he was off his leash?
A cliff. Twice.
How sober was he at the time?
Not.
He seems sober now.
This is why I'm not going to be able to talk about this.
He isn't holding any visible weapons as he, like, kind of saunters into the.
That has never stopped him.
Mm-mm.
The world is his weapon.
Also true.
Wait a second, I've got an idea.
Hmm?
What's the propulsion system on the shuttle?
Well, it's minor FTL, so it's the standard. It's enough of a. It can do short range missions, right?
Yeah. Does it have a gravitic drive, or is this thing, propulsed?
No, this is a propulsion. It's not a gravitic. This is a shuttle off of the colony ship that was the Starblade.
Excellent. This will work. Just lean back in, making sure that Crispin can't hear. How safe is it to do a full burn? Just straight up.
The shuttle pilot will look at you slightly panicked because you're in a spaceport inside atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
On what I mean, you're not in the middle of town, but he's looking a little panicked. Mawar is making eye contact and starts nodding. It's like you'll see her like lean over and look out the other side, like the other door of the shuttle. It's like he's got a good 100-meter clearance. We're fine.
Good.
And if that piece of shit blows up, it's not our fault, because I'm pretty sure that piece of shit behind us is going to blow up anyways.
Okay. When I close the door, do a full burn.
Are we concerned about you in the middle?
Hopefully I'll be inside the shuttle when I close the door.
Ah, so do you need me to be prepared to pull you inside said shuttle?
haven't gotten there yet. I'm still a little miffed about the situation, but yes, please.
And she will shift herself so that she's kind of like behind the door in a way that she can reach out and pull you onto the shuttle if you need the assistance.
Mhm.
I mean, I could
Okay.
shoot him.
No, then you become a part of this.
I could still shoot him. I like you better than him. I know you. I
Yes.
don't know him.
Uh, it's better if anyone's going to shoot him, that would be me.
Okay, fair.
And while this might kill him, it will inconvenience him.
Oh, does he have like Rex levels of? Oh fuck! And you just see her start pulling. She was like pulling out a pistol. She puts that down, and you see her pull this shotgun, and she's like, cocks it. Mm-hmm. Don't worry, I can grab you and shoot at the same time.
Don't shoot him, he holds a grudge. I'd rather it be focused on me right now. Though if he does the entire, like, green eyes thing whilst, you can see bits of his skull, shoot him with the shotgun.
Yes! Anybody who goes for full Borg is getting in the face. Is he full Borg?
I'm not up to speed. It's been a while.
So double tap head. Okay. She just prepares to do whatever you need as backup. As Crispian is sauntering. Well, as much as he thinks it looks like sauntering.
In his mind, music is playing and he's the most badass thing on this planet.
It's that little weird, like, face goatee thing that.
Like, he is the most dangerous thing on this planet.
Mm-hmm.
In his own mind. And just step out casually from the shuttle, walking forward. There's definitely, once hitting like the actual like plating of this place, there's just a deep, heavy sigh. No noodles today. I was hoping for noodles today.
Crispian's smile just kind of broadens. It's still too much teeth. But he then opens his arms as if he's going to give you a hug. Like, Adam! You made it! Now the party can start.
What are you up to?
Just having some fun.
I know you're kind of fun. What do you have planned?
What do you mean?
Do you not know that Cassie's after me?
Not my problem. She's your problem. She's your ex, and she's your crazy. You brought the crazy. I didn't. Therefore, not my problem. But you're here. We should have some fun. I found a bar.
Of course you have.
They allow live shooting.
Yes. Crispy did do that in most of the bars here. Anyone that doesn't serve children.
Mm-hmm. I can shoot the bartender. Isn't it great?
They shoot back.
Not well. I mean, he didn't need that knee anyways. They're easy to replace.
How long have you been here?
And you see him, like, visibly trying to calculate. About a week.
With that, I am going to move past him and I am going to survey this place.
Okay. Roll me that awareness again.
This place is still standing. I am concerned. Um,
Why are you concerned?
Numbers aren't adding up. 16.
You don't see any staff for this spaceport. Not even basic mechanics or people to refuel. You don't see any of the normal security.
Yeah, even the guys that would, try and rob you at gunpoint once you got off the shuttle.
Yes, exactly. You don't even see the bag ladies trying to sell you fresh fruit. You do see the building that looks like it was like the port offices, the port authority. I stress the word was. It has like everything above the window from the like this is a main floor, it's a single room, kind of one floor. And so you see everything from where the bottom threshold of the windows were on either side of the door is kind of gone boom. As in it's not there. A few other instances of phaser fire, scorch marks. No bloodstains. And no one else but you and Crispian on this spaceport. Well, and then Manoir and your shuttle pilot.
Do you have any idea how many are left, Crispian?
I didn't blow up the salvage yard yet.
Yes, there's that.
I mean, I was encouraged to be polite. I thought I was very polite. Didn't leave any dead bodies hanging around.
I see you have upgraded.
I thought about impaling a couple people.
Just for old time's sake.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to give you the right welcome.
I appreciate that.
But you're here. We should get a drink. There are plans in motion.
Whose plans, Crispian?
Kronos's, of course. But, I have some time until I have to worry about that. I've been just killing time here.
Obviously. So, how is our brother?
He's good. I mean, he's still kind of broken up about the whole, girlfriend thing. He got turned down. It was real awkward. It was really good that you weren't there. He was crying. There was like Kenny G music. I mean,
And it's just you right now.
yeah. Silas is working, getting things ready. He is appropriate. There's a bit of appropriation going on. Things are in motion. I was supposed to make sure that things were ready when you got here, and now you're here, and things are ready, right? I mean, no local, shall we say, complications.
This may be playing entirely into Kronos' hand, but I'm going to do something immensely stupid.
You're going to do what? Please let me know.
Using that agent?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I am going to use the last information I have Silas and Kronos. Try and contact
You're gonna try and contact Silas and Kronos from the agent in your hand on Loki, the agent that Xavier gave you.
them. Yes.
Are you doing a group call just so I know? Or is it like a group text
It's
or
more like a group text because I know they don't like to necessarily talk unless it's Kronos.
well, Kronos doesn't talk. Well, that's not true. He pontificates.
That's also why we're not actually calling, it's text. It means that I'll get things in 2 sentences.
So, you text. What do you text? Just so I know.
Hello, brothers. Found Crispian. Said there were plans. Is he off his... delete. Um, is he in fact correct? Or did you send him on an errand, in quotation marks?
There is a long pause because, I mean, well, when was the last time you contacted either Silas or Kronos?
8 years ago, before
Um,
Xavier.
before Xavier. Very important before times. Um, there's a long, long pause. Long enough for you to confirm any response is not coming from planet. But that doesn't mean it can't be coming from a comm buoy near planet. Or even in orbit or somewhere else in the system.
Yeah.
But exactly. It's, there's no one on planet. Silas responds first. The texting shows that he's using speech to text because there were no spelling errors.
They've all upgraded. Good for them.
Hello, brother. Isn't it great? We have a reunion coming. I can't wait to see you. I didn't know. Where did you find Crispian? Uh, that's Silas's response.
So, I at least know about Silas. That's good. That's great.
But you also know that Silas is special?
Yeah, but at the same time, in his own way, he can be reasoned with.
Yes. A lot easier than Crispian.
Yes.
He looks up to his big brother.
Involves far less alcohol and far fewer cliffs.
An occasional pie, though. Or small animal.
They don't have rabbits here. Any word from Kronos?
That takes a longer delay. And then there's a response. Brother, I didn't. Where did you meet Crispian? He was supposed to be preparing. I was going to send you an invitation for our reunion later, but some things had not developed yet.
He's in the Loki system.
He was supposed to be going to Charybdis.
And with that,
Mm-hmm.
because I've been picturing like Crispian and I are slowly walking towards a bar.
Yes.
Just stop, stock still.
I have a question. Did you include Crispian in this group text?
No.
Okay.
And in a second, just as he's walking back up, because Crispian will continue forward, he usually does. Says aloud, "Brother,
Mm-hmm. Yes!
did you go to Charybdis, or is this a stopover?"
Right. Right. I'm supposed to be going to Charybdis. And I needed gas. You know? Shuttles. They so getting shot is such a problem for them.
Yes. At least you left the salvage yard intact.
Yeah, I thought about crashing into it. It would have been really nice. But
Okay. We'll go have a drink.
everything okay? Aren't you coming?
I'm following you. You know where the bar is.
Okay. Look, they have this thing. I'm pretty sure it's basically gasoline, which it is because in this universe, including the cyberpunk portion of this timeline, Chutu is a biofuel that's both gasoline and drinkable alcohol. Depending, it is drinkable. It will not blind you. It might be taste about as good as shitty bathtub gin, but it will not kill you. And most vehicles, planet side vehicles, are run on Chutu.
As we're walking, I'm switching over to a different text. I'm going to contact the shuttle.
Mm-hmm.
Things have gotten so much worse. um,
Manwar just sends back an emoji of a sniper rifle.
that will not solve the greater problem that I have just become aware of.
I could wing him.
That is an invitation to a form of hug you are not interested in receiving.
No one wants that hug from Crispian. Ah, sorry. Sorry. I know who this character is, so.
So,
What do you need?
yeah, I was right earlier. I was wrong right now. I was right earlier. I need the Starblade to fire on my position, on my mark.
And there's just this dot 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 of somebody of that moment of somebody thinking, going, do we have time to get out of the blast radius?
Yes.
Do we have time to pick you up out of the blast radius?
You will have to pick me up after the spacing happens.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
And then there's an even longer pause. I'm not telling Xavier.
No, that's my job.
Just so we agree.
Okay.
I will. And then there's a few moments in the response of Jaeger ready on call. Well, a little awkward because technically. Oh. Oh, I just realized something. I know
Oh dear.
something.
Oh
Hmm. It'll come up later. We're good.
no. Of course it'll come up later. Um, so we walk into this wonderful bar that Crispian has found where they allow you to have
Yeah,
your
it's like
weapons.
right off the spaceport and would have been like the ultimate dive bar where you're pretty sure somebody would have gotten stabbed, but about the only people who are in here is a bartender who's leaning heavily on the bar. And you can see a couple blood stains, and he looks a little pallid, a little sweaty, like
He's
might
dying.
not yet,
Yeah.
but infection might be going in. And
Yeah.
the and the android at the back of the bar who is literally playing the player piano.
That's all he left.
Mm-hmm. And they are playing because, you know, it has to be done. I'm sorry. They're playing Kansas. Dust in the Wind.
Well, it's about to get dustier in here.
Mm-hmm.
That's
On this.
that's that's very sure. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm going to go to the bar
Mm-hmm.
with
The bar,
Crispian.
the bartender will look at you and go, "What are you drinking?"
Whatever swill won't set me on fire.
There's a long pause as he kind of like has to go through his recollection of what's still here. And it's a little bit longer than normal because you can see that pain is distracting him. And then he will turn around and reach under the bar and bring up two bottles and like slide them, and one in front of you and one in front of Crispian, who's kind of come up next to you and is smiling. He's like, and this is my new friend James. James, this is my brother Adam.
Hello, James.
The bartender just smiles, kind of. It's more of a grimace.
Mhm.
But Crispian doesn't comment on that.
So I will take this bottle. I will clink glasses with my brother.
Mm-hmm.
Drink the swill. Immediately regret my decision.
I
Uh,
have to ask. I have to ask because I'm me. I have to make you do this. I'm sorry.
oh, that's fine.
Because this is a thing that's in this game.
Hmm.
There's a skill for this.
Well, there's two kinds of skill for this. Just depends on which one.
Well, there are two. There's one that's resist torture or drugs.
Hmm.
Are you actually drinking?
Because of what is going to happen here shortly, yes.
Um, then it would be either endurance or resist torture and drugs.
I would prefer the endurance. I'm going to strained from spending luck here. I'm going to need that luck for later. 12.
You manage not to cough, but it's that awkward.
Yeah.
And it's like, see, it's really good shit they got here.
You definitely know how to pick them.
It's not even blood in the alcohol. It's great.
Immediately go to the phone.
Mm-hmm.
See if my brothers have pontificated further.
Silas
If they
has
have,
not. Kronos has.
probably just gonna fast forward through all that.
I mean, he's asking you. There are a bunch of questions from Kronos about like, is he? Where are you? Why is? Oh, you said you're. Well, no, sorry. GM
in the
moment.
Loki system.
You
Yeah.
said that you were in the Loki system. It's like, has he been to Charybdis? Is he going to Charybdis? Should I make other plans? Could you? That level of Kronos being micromanaging Mother Hen Kronos?
Yeah. He Crispian ran out of fuel, I put in quotation marks. I have reminded him about Charybdis. I am uncertain as to how he is going to make his way there, considering he has decided to have fun, also in quotation marks.
Silas will send a message as like, well, it's real. Is he okay?
He's fine for now. I am fairly certain, as I am drinking with him, an interdiction cruiser within system is probably going to fire upon our location.
Huh?
Big boom.
Are you okay?
For now, the boom has yet to happen. I am getting drunk because it's going to happen.
Okay. That Kronos is a little confused as to how you know you're going to get shot at by an interstellar cruiser from orbit. But
It's
excuse
me,
me,
brother.
Silas is confused.
Yeah.
Kronos is like, you just get the raised eyebrow emoji, which from Kronos is like, I'm assuming you have a plan, brother.
I'm working on it. I wasn't expecting this level of fun from Crispian.
Hmm.
You may want to collect him, us. I'm still working that out.
Understood, brother.
Um, with that done,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to secure the agent. I don't know if it will survive what's going to happen next, but I'm going to attempt to make it so that it can.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to look about this bar
Mm-hmm.
and also remember the layout of the station. Just going to quickly send off a message, "Are you clear?" to my shuttle.
Oh, we gone.
Okay.
We'll be
I'm going
back when the dust settles.
I am going to find the moat. I'm going to, excuse me, brother. I need to find the facilities, and unlike you, it's the humility thing.
Whatever.
I'll be back. And
James
as
and
I
I'll be here. I figured out how to breathe alcohol fire. Out my nose.
I just smile and nod as I look for the most secure place to be, considering
You
what
called
is
from an
going to happen
orbital
next.
strike on
Yeah,
yourself.
yes.
Um, so you go out, like, there's the bartender will point towards the swinging door where the to go to the bathrooms. It also has, then there's a hallway leads to the kitchen. There's the bathrooms, and then there's a stairwell down to what is the storage cellar, storage room, and you're pretty sure there are two options for you.
Okay.
Your two options are the walk-in freezer in the kitchen, or this is Loki, a planet that was run by pirates. Well,
Yeah.
Loki's system was a system run by pirates, and this particular, well, it's called Foothold for a reason. You're pretty sure there's some sort of arms locker, would probably be in the storage room.
We're going to go with the locker. We're going to go with the locker. Um, like, I respect the room the freezer would afford me, but I will deal with the discomfort of the locker.
I mean, the arms locker is probably like a 8x6.
Yeah, we're gonna find the locker. Uh, as I go down and this never gets easier. Just undo the locker. Um, not gonna fully secure it because getting back out's a pain. You
Mm-hmm.
need to be able to do that quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I'm going to take a deep breath in and signal fire.
And then I assume jump in the arms locker.
Yeah.
There's a half beat between you have just enough, you feel that pressure in the air as you
Mhm.
get into the arms locker. And you feel like that half beat of you slam it shut and nothing happens, and then you hear sound and air reverb through everything. Um, the other added advantage of walking into the arms locker is that it's fireproof. Um, it. I need you to roll endurance.
This is where I'm using that luck I said I was saving.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'd like to spend 5 of it.
Go right ahead.
19.
Respectable. Just a random question. Did you wear your armor?
Yeah.
Cool. So that 31 mitigated by armor.
Oh boy.
What's your armor?
Let me pull that up. I've got 10s in
On your full body?
Yeah, I'm in the full body.
Okay, so you have 10 armor on your full body, so it's down to 21.
Yeah.
Then you're going to half it to
Okay.
10. So you're going to take a total of 10. What is your total kills because of your body score?
Total kills because of body. Try and find that on the sheet.
So it
So
will.
that's hits.
Yeah, hits.
Yeah.
Sorry. Kills is your mech's hit points. Hits are your hit points. I think you should have like 12.
I've I've got a lot of hits
No,
across the
you do,
whole.
and your torso. Yeah. So
Yeah.
you will end up. You're down to one hit on your arms and legs.
Yeah.
Um, and two to
Like,
your torso, or well, three to your four to your torso still.
I have four. By yeah, no, I'm down to pretty much one each
You're down to
location, and
one You're down to about 2.5 HP.
yeah,
But you survived an
yeah.
orbital strike from space. I
I
want you to
didn't
know
said I was smart. Uh,
you survived. I think this is going to go in my list of wonderful player choices. My list. Hey Pope, you're joining Simon on the list.
yeah,
And Eddie.
yeah,
It's great. I love these. I love player choices like this. Hey, considering you could have had 20d6 damage, 6 is only not that bad.
yeah. Um,
Because you're calling an orbital strike from a cruiser, which does mega damage because, it fights mechs.
mhm.
Just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
So Hawkeye is right. The new inductee into the Prax Hall of Fame. Yeah. So it will take a while. You will be disoriented before the ringing in your ear finally separates out from what you determine is the sound of the agent vibrating in your pocket
Mhm.
against the metal of the locker.
Mhm. Um, respond to that vibration.
Pick up the damn phone.
Right?
You hear Xavier, it's that level of somebody's on the other end going, pick up, pick up, pick up the damn phone, pick up the damn phone.
I'm alive.
There's just this long, drawn out sigh, pause. And I will be there in a moment. Don't turn it off.
Leave it on. Not like I have much choice at this point, as my the pain is here.
The pain is
Um,
here. And you're not like there's a little bit of blood coming out of your nose and out of one of your ears where you're about, but it's
yeah.
mostly concussive force and shock and whiplash. There's not a lot of penetrating damage here. It will feel like you will be a giant fucking bruise for weeks. Um, but it did save your life. There is a long pause as you will now hear music playing through the agent, and instead of the Kansas's Dust in the Wind that was playing earlier, you now have Billy Joel.
Okay.
As you
Is
realize,
Shameless playing or is
no, 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 no.
that's what I'm feeling right now.
It would be
Oh,
good, but no, Socket is a little pissed at you.
hmm. Fair.
So it's scenes from an Italian restaurant on loop.
It's a long song, folks. That's a long song. Not in a Inagata Vita, but it's not short.
No,
Uh,
a bottle of red, a bottle of white. All depends upon your appetite. And uh, it's in the fourth playthrough. You're pretty sure.
mhm.
Roll me the endurance. You're gonna take a -2 to this.
Oh yeah. But I still have one of those luck left, which I'd like to spend now to to make it so it's only a -1.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm out of luck, folks. $16.
You manage to focus on Billy Joel playing through the speaker of this agent to the point that you can actually like focus, and it's a good deterrent and from the amount of pain that you're in, so you stay conscious for the 15-20 minutes it takes for the various mechs. You will realize 4 of them to dig you out of the rubble of this crater that you have now made on in Foothold. Not that anyone's really commenting at the moment, but you hear some random chatter. But there are 4 of the construction mechs. One of the mining, well, 3 of the construction mechs and one of the mining mechs are being used to dig you out of this rubble. It'll take 30 minutes. So about 5 playthroughs of Scenes from Italian Restaurant.
5 to 6.
So yeah, there you go, 6.
It's on the 6th playthrough that they get me.
Yeah. And they get you out. You will realize that Kay is actually standing planetside next to whatever hovering stretcher she's got to put you on this shuttle. And I will roll for her emergency medicine. See how well she can stabilize you. But she's really good at this, so maybe not.
Not used to this level of trauma.
No. It's a 15. It's a 15. We're still good. That is the other thing that people forget in this system. A nat 1 is not a nat 1 like in that it's not an auto failure. It's just you might be fucked. You might be fucked. Not you're guaranteed to be screwed. So it's a 15. It's not. She is a combat medic, but there's a lot of extra rubble that she's running through, and you are a giant bruise and a shit ton of broken bones at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But you are stable, and she is working on healing you. She's not making you any worse. You can put 1 kill back on for each of your torso and limbs.
Nice.
So,
Yay.
and then you'll end up. Well, it won't matter because by the time we start next season, you'll build all the way. But roll me an awareness at a -3.
Okay. $16.
The music is still playing. Scenes from an Italian Restaurant has stopped, and it's now just starting to be the entirety of album. Still Billy Joel. Shameless is on.
Oh, it's been a while. It's been a while,
Hold on, please.
I don't think that's Stormfront.
It's Stormfront. On the storm, the whole of Stormfront is playing.
Oh wow!
Great album, by the way, everybody.
Yes.
But you will also notice Xavier is not anywhere to be seen. You will see, we'll get flashes of, as you are taken to the med bay, of Manoir and your shuttle pilot, both of whom are alive and well. You'll see Lightning, Calyx, and Rex The next couple days are kind of a blur in and out of surgery. The captain makes an appearance once to kind of check on you. In like the 4 days you've been in and out of a medically induced various periods of sedation, you do not recall Xavier being anywhere near you. There is a box when you finally, 5 days later, can keep your eyes open for longer than, you know, the 30 seconds it takes for Kay to re-administer massive amounts of painkillers. Um, there's a small jewelry box seated on the bedside table next to
Adam's not a smart individual, but he is one made of more will than flesh. And so,
you. That's saying
despite,
something in this crew.
uh, and so through whatever pain is there, reaches out and grabs the box.
It's not a ring box.
And through very sore fingers, will fiddle around and open the box.
You see a silvered metallic chain, but even at a glance you can tell it's not silver. Some sort of metal that looks silver in color, but it is not silver as the metal. Um, and it's got two things strung on it. One is one of Xavier's dog tags. The other is a SIM card.
And in that sort of pitiful small voice, but also reaching out and hitting the button.
Mm-hmm.
Just goes, okay.
And there's this long, pregnant pause where the speaker is open, but nobody's speaking, and you can just feel the judgment coming through it. Yes, Adam?
May I beg a favor of a tablet, please?
Fine. 30 seconds later, you hear the door open from this private room in the med bay. There's Kay kind of angrily flounces. And it's in that moment you realize how much she really is like her sister. I'm not giving you any stims, but I promise not to give you the sedatives.
I've earned the pain.
No comment. I'm watching you. Also, I mean that literally. Sockets updated all the security systems, so I have full access to every monitoring system in the world.
Oh, don't make me laugh.
You can laugh all you want, but my tablet's got your heartbeat monitor, your pulse ox, and the video feed anytime I want. You're not getting out of that bed.
No. I'm on an extended staycation. And we'll slot this in.
Uh, you will see that it connects to the immediately to a video file.
Let's play.
It is your rooms on the Starblade. And it's Xavier sitting there watching, looking at the video camera, and he is visibly shattered. And it takes him a couple seconds before he starts to talk. So since you're gonna be in bed for a while, I thought I'd go get you Duncan. Leaving you this, and something else to hold on to. It's real awkward. I mean, one of the few things I promised myself was that I would not be responsible for shooting you, but considering I literally just redid all of your targeting systems off of this giant fucking ship and made them 10 times better, I literally just shot you with the fucking ship. I'm a little complicated at the moment. I'm going to bring you Duncan. The agent will get hold of me if you need. Don't worry. I'll be fine. And then you see them, and in that instance, you see for the first time the mask actually go on. And the attitude change, the posture change, the suave, debonair Xavier of those early days at the very beginning of your relationship. Well, the first one. Don't worry. You got something I want, so I'm gonna come back and get it. I hear Charybdis is wonderful this time. And he winks at the camera, and it goes dark.
Um, there's just a head hitting pillow as the video stops playing. With the tablet struggling. He's going to send a message to Rex, specifically, on this secure channel.
Okay. What do you say?
If anyone was paying attention to that crater, then anyone would understand why it's you. Did anything leave that planet aside from me?
And that's the perfect place for us to end today. Because guess whose solo episode is next week? Thank you. I love it when people set up and put it down. I can just knock it down. I love that setup. Thank you. I appreciate it. Also, by the way, just a little moment, just an extra side moment of the minute Xavier is the video stops, you realize that the music starts playing from the tablet and not just the music that's Socket's in charge of. It's Peter Cetera. You're the inspiration.
Though I think going back to Stormfront, I have an idea for the name of this episode.
Oh, please do. I love.
It's called I Go to Extremes.
Yeah, there's that. So, did we have fun?
Yes, this was surprising. It's weird playing a character who is just so dynamically different than almost everything else I play. Because he loves very, very deeply, has infinite confidence in his own plans,
Mm-hmm.
even though he realizes they're all bad. Um, and infinite confidence in his companions and friends. Um, that is not what I play. uh, and so this has been one hell of a ride.
I'm glad you're enjoying it. I did when I had my moment, it was literally me realizing, oh yeah, it's been 2 weeks, but that's literally at the beginning of last week's episode what Savior was doing for the past
Yeah.
messing around. He's been like, I have killing time. Well, you have shit targeting systems. I can redesign them and make them better. Oh, yeah, Xavier's now gonna have to deal with the fact that he made the gun to shoot Adam better.
I, I, I can't explain it. I've never played a character that is just so casual with his own life,
Yeah.
but is so concerned about the lives of others at the same time.
Yeah. I can see that. I do see that. And I think it works. I mean, like, this was great. I'm glad you had fun. I had a lot of fun.
No, I had absolute blast. I'm just again, for all of you at home, for all you watching live on YouTube, wherever you are, if you're familiar with anything that I've done, I've played, this is a very different character, and it's such a step away from a lot of what I play, what's my comfort zone, and so it's both freeing and it's fun, but also it's almost like emotionally complicated because it's just so different. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and living living with this character, living with this space, and it kind of leaves you a bit reeling. Is the best way I can describe it. I am very, very happy. But I'm also just so taken aback by this story, by these characters, by everything. Because it's again, I have done sci-fi before, um, but this character, these characters, this system, this world is so different from anything else I've done, and it it's worth the price of admission, folks. So if you are interested in doing something that it can best be described as like you want your daytime soap, but you also want your anime and you want sci-fi, this is it. This is the system for you. Um,
From our dear
and
friends at Our Talstorian.
yeah, no, that it's while it has definitely aged, it has aged well. So go look it up. And as for myself, you want to see more of my silly, ridiculous face, you get a
And
number
the
of
answer is yes, you want to
opportunities.
see more of that silly, ridiculous face.
You get a number of opportunities. Next one coming up is Sunday. It's the doubleheader. First over on Weave the Tale. Those crazy folks have decided to trust me with telling the story. So we continue on with um, issue 302 of Paradise City Stories, a Mutants and Masterminds actual play. As things come to a head there, another fabulous person who has been has experienced Praxis Stories, and Nino is part of that cast, and he just his character Lawin um may be at odds with the rest of his team, and we get to see how that plays out. That is at 3 p.m. Eastern over on Weave the Tale. And then, if you're not done with the superhero heroics and want to see something that's slightly out of my comfort zone, but just more like dipping a toe as opposed to Adam, which is I I leapt into the deep end of the pool. You
Did
can
you
see me
leap or
play.
did I grab you with the pool hook?
Column B.
Yeah, there's that.
Uh so so dipping a toe with Magnus, the inheritor of Thor, over on Masked Sunset City, 9:30 p.m. Eastern over on Matev Seven's channel. Um, it's young superheroes, and uh, I I can I can say with enough assurance, since we've been going at this for a year now, that it's a very special story and a very special cast. So if you want to see something that has the gamut of being deeply affecting and wholesome, but at the same time being just off the walls, uh, tune in for Masked Sunset City, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. And then a little bird told me that there might be some spy stuff coming up on the horizon, both over on Follow Black Cats Wednesdays. Keep your eyes peeled for the announcement. And then I know this is early to be promoting, but I feel it's important because of the charity involved. And that is over on Valdrian's channel. Uh, they're doing a charity fundraiser beginning of November for Extra Life. So if you, it is, tis the holiday season, and it is the time to give, and this is for an incredibly worthy cause. So there's going to be a ton of shows during like the early weekend of November, on like the full week. There's just tons of stuff to view. Val has put so many groups together, and if you want to see me more in my natural habitat, there will be a spy game one shot over there where um, I get to be a terrible spy and and probably mix it up with random speeches and shooting people. So if you're more for that kind of brand, definitely tune in. But as always, thank you all so much. Story is nothing without its audience. And again, no, you've earned this. You've earned this. You've earned this, Brax. I absolutely adore you. And to show you my appreciation from one storyteller to another, I love you, Prax. I hate you, Prax.
Did I do that? Sorry, it had to be done. No, I appreciate that. I'll take that. Thank you, Pope. I take that. But hey, y'all. As for me, I'm at Turgeon on Twitter, or Praxworth as me before you see me around here on Twitch. Thank you, and thank you over on YouTube. I see you over there. We appreciate you. We appreciate all of the love that we get from over there. Appreciate you guys here in chat for being here for the fun and the chaos and the wonderfulness. Look, I had mini plots, and then he picked one and went with it, and I love it. We now, ooh, people who are in chat, Hawkeye, and maybe Time, and a couple other people might know the answer to this. I have a question. I'm gonna put this on Twitter question, and I'm gonna put this question on Twitter. So, which do you think whose action do you think was more complicated? Let's use the word complicated. Complicated. Pope having Adam call his own orbital strike on him and Crispian, or Simon's actions 2 weeks ago as Cadarn in Witcher Road's Home. And I'm not going to spoil it, but if you know, I'm going to post that as a Twitter post and be like, Hope, OVA, or Simon Road's Home. And then I'm just going to let you all choose because there's some juice there. But as for me, you're going to find me tomorrow here as I continue with more sci-fi fun because I'm going to continue my my run for the perfect destroy ending with my ruthless spacer sentinel. No, he's not a sentinel anymore because I finished Luna, so he's technically a bastion.
Best class.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Shepard. And as I go for my perfect destroy ending, and we begin Mass Effect 2 in Mass Effect Legendary Edition. So I'll probably start sometime around 10 tomorrow, and I have nothing else to do, so come hang out with me. I'll be here all day. And then Sunday night, we'll be back here with Romance of the Blue Rose. And if you were here last week, some people introduced other people to their friends, and they discovered that not all of their friends get along. Would be the best way to phrase that, I think. But other than that, and Wednesday we will be back with Witcher Road's Home. Fun times are happening there. And then back here on Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern for Eddie's solo episode, where we're going to start with Rex. And I think we're just going to pick up right to the pick up of that email that Watcher sent. Because it's a great point and I love it. But other than that, check my Twitter because I was posting where I'm going to be, all the fun, wonderful, fabulous folks that I get to hang out with, all the things that I'm involved in, all the things I'm trying to help and work with. But we're going to send some love. We're going to send some love over to one Susanna Grace because she's playing Valheim, and we love Susie. Even when she does try and make my Tyrell pick a side, or, emotionally destroy my Baratheon. It's fine. Either one. But I'll see you. Bye.
Take care, everybody.